Welcome to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry, and this is Monday Quilt Chat. Thank you so much for dropping by here to sit with me for a while and chat about quilt things. That's what we love. So grab your favorite drink, have a seat, wrap up in your favorite quilt or blanket, and we'll just chat about all of that stuff. Always start out talking about what I did this weekend. Well, you will not believe what I did this weekend. I made an entire quilt. Well, I had some of these blocks finished already. Actually, I had 50 of these blocks finished. I needed 10 more to make a normal sized quilt, which is still a little on the debatable side. It's 6 squares by 10. Perfect size for sitting around the fire is what I would use this for. This is a rag quilt. And then I just took these 16 patches and put them all together in no particular order. I tried not to put things side by side that matched exactly, because I did have at least two of the same block in this quilt. So this was when I was pulling out 2 leftover jelly roll strips, or any 2.5 by width of fabric piece that I had in that bin, sewed 2 of them together, and it would make 2 blocks. And I was just kind of mindlessly doing that, kind of as a variation on my 16 patch that I always like to do, that has a common color. The next one is pink, remember? So I thought, I want to stop this and make something out of these. And a friend was making a rag quilt this weekend, and I thought, that's what I'm going to do with it. And I thought, well, how's that going to work? It kind of turned into an experiment, but I think it came out okay. Because, you know, you use 1/2 inch or so seam allowances to sew your pieces together. So that meant that there was going to be an extra 1/4 inch on each side that's sewn in that's gone from the size of it. But it doesn't matter, does it? We get it. The only thing I can see that I have done some, let's see if I can find one. I guess maybe this one. It's where the 2, you know, I tried to do like a light and a dark in each one of them. And sometimes they hit 2 darks, 2 lights, but I don't think that matters. It's just a campfire quilt, right? So the only thing I have left to do, and I'm going to finish it right now, is I have one more long row to clip if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So I might clip a little while we're talking. And I'm using these Famore, and these are made just for rag quilts. And I mean, I guess you could use them for other things, but they're spring-loaded. Spring-loaded. It's got a spring. You see that? You have to, you know, it's probably a good exercise for your hand, honestly. It makes the perfect little cut all the way across to rag your seams. So you can hold it up like this and just go down through here and do this, or you can sit down like this and do it in front of you, and it just makes the perfect little clip down to that seam allowance seam line. And you can just zip right down through here. It works a lot better, honestly, if you put it on a table and just go like this all the way down. It's way faster. I've done it both ways. Sometimes you just want to sit down and do something. So I've been sitting down and doing this. And it takes just a little bit longer sitting down doing it. But I only have one long seam to do. So I'm almost done. So no sense in complaining about it now, right? Well, I hope you got into something this weekend that you did. Lots of people are distracted with the holidays and all, and sometimes you just have to take a break from some of your sewing and projects to deal with that. But yeah, you know, it's always good to take a moment, you know, and go work on one of your projects, or maybe you're finishing projects that you're you know, making for gifts and whatnot, and you have had to sew, that could be the case too. So that's what I did. Now, I did do other things too. I tried to get out some backing for Anne of Green Gables because I want to quilt that quilt on the long arm before the end of the year, and I will. I had a little bit of a complication with that, in that the big piece of fabric that I had for the backing, I think it started out as a 5-yard piece, but it's a 5-yard piece minus 6 inches. I don't know why that is exactly. I don't remember if I cut it off, if it was the end of a bolt. I feel like I cut it off, but I don't have recollection of cutting it off. The only thing I can think of is I had to do it because the fat quarter of that wasn't enough. And that could be because, look at the square, it's this right here. Those are big squares, and they came up into a big diamond all the way around. So I'm thinking I probably cut that off to get what I needed for those. Had to be, because a fat quarter wouldn't do but maybe 4 of those. And they were all the way around. So that means I'm going to have to piece a border, which is not a big deal. I can do that. But I also found that I had a whole bunch of these. And look, that's that fabric. I have a whole bunch of these. Well, not a whole bunch. I've got maybe 8. I've got a whole bunch of these I could do something with. And there's a couple more of those. And then I have a few of, well, I have a strip set here where I could make more of something like this. I have 2 of these, and I could make probably 2 of this dark one. So I need to look at all of this stuff and figure out some sort of strip to run across the middle of my backing, because the way it turned out, I had to put the 245 inch width of fabric down and sew together. So I sewed the selvages together. So that means I need to either do something to put on the top or the bottom, or cut it again and put it through the middle. And usually when you do something piece like this, you do it through the middle. So I'm going to have to take that big piece that I did sew together, so I got that much done, cut it the other way, and stick something in. I also have, this is for the binding, and I had a couple of these left from the fat quarter bundle. I also have this, which, let me see about how much this is. Looks like a yard. If it's not a yard, it's pretty close to a yard. So with this and my leftover half square triangles, I should be able to come up with something to put across that middle. But that's going to take a little bit of time. So I'm not going to do that quilt this week on the long arm. I have put on the long arm the pressed flowers, the last year's sew along that was in the sew sampler box. So I've got that out on the long arm right now. I have prepared the backing for it. I just took some regular width fabric, cut it in half, sewed it together, and it'll be fine. It's just something from my stash, which is good, right? Something from my stash. Yes. So that's going to be on the long arm. And I will be doing, on Wednesday, I'll be basting that down on that video. I'll probably do it today or tomorrow. On that video, I'll be basting it down and showing how to pull up your bobbin thread and some things like that. Very simple. Probably a very quick video, actually. Where am I? So that's kind of set in motion already. And I didn't get any, other long arm type stuff done this weekend, which is fine. Had so many last week and the week before, seems like. So thanks for all your encouragement on the Happy Days quilt, and I told you guys I was thinking about entering it into the fair, and everybody was saying yes, you must do that. So Thanks for that encouragement. I will have to get that ready to go for the fair this year. That'll be fun, won't it? I think so. I think it'll be interesting. And then I'm thinking did I do any piecing? I think I told you on Friday that I did quite a few more of the memory quilt blocks. I think I have like 15 or so. So I'm pretty close to being I'm just a little over half finished with assembling the blocks. So that's going according to plan, I think. I can't wait to get done with it because the fabrics are horrible and I just don't enjoy working with, fabric that has stabilizer on it, and the vast majority of it is polyester or polyester blend, or maybe even something stretchier than that. So even some of it is kind of like a thin sweater type stuff, so not fun. But I have a little stack over there I still need to assemble. It looks like about 10 blocks. So I need to get to that. And I need to get to my sew sampler because that box is probably going to be here. If it's not here today, Monday, it'll be here after the holidays probably. Could be Tuesday, but it could be Thursday. But it's close. It's getting close to my house. And you know what that means? That means I have 3 Peaceful Baskets blocks to do. Those take a while for some reason. I'm thinking if I just sat down and did all 3 of them, it wouldn't take as long as it does to make one, because they all have that basket in common, and I could cut all those pieces out at the same time. So that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do that on Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I don't know. We'll see. If not this week, the next. And here we are getting so close to the end of the year. I've been doing a lot of reflecting on this past year. I started out the year with a little hashtag make it so, and I don't know where that went after the first month or 2. I tried to include it on my videos and in the Facebook group. I don't even know what that does. I just see other people do it, and I'm like, hashtag make it so. That's our motto for this year. Okay, fine. But what does that do? It's just kind of gimmicky. I don't know. I'm not a gimmicky person. I'm kind of more of a what you see is what you get kind of person. I don't know. But we could make a motto for 2025 if you want. I like to make it so. I thought it fits. It fits in a year. Make it so. That's what we do. We sew. We make things, and it happens. But anyway, back to reflecting over the last year. It's just really hard to believe that I've had the long arm for a whole year, and learning that has been a journey. It really has been a journey. It's a miracle that I feel okay making videos about it, even though my videos are very, very basic techniques and information that I'm putting out there. At first I thought, I am never going to learn this. This is just like hard. But don't let that discourage you. If you want a long arm, if you want to get a personal long arm for yourself, just do it, because it is so worth it. It is so worth it. I mean, it's nice to have somebody that you can send quilts out to, but there's just something about doing all that yourself, I guess I'm just one of those people that, if I didn't do the entire thing from start to finish, then it's not all my project. It's a collaborative effort. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what you like to do. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting my quilts back from Mary, and there was a deep satisfaction in that as well. But there's just something about doing it on your own. I guess it's just a me thing. But yeah, don't get discouraged by anything I say about the long arm being hard, because everything can be resolved or be learned. I worked at a bank for many years, and the bank president there was very good to kind of mentor me in a lot of things. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have experience in much of anything that mattered. And you know, he would sit down with me and teach me things. And he always said, you know, there's nothing you can't fix. I mean, you might go through a lot of pain to fix something, but there's nothing that cannot be fixed. So that's just kind of stuck with me in everything since then that I've done. It's like, don't worry so much about messing things up. Everything can be fixed. And that's a positive way to think, isn't it? Instead of just giving up. I like to think positively. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think I am done with this. I'm going to go give it a shake, and then I'll show it to you. I am covered with thread. I'm going to have to get that tape roller out. Okay, so here it is. My blocks are approximately 8.5 inches, a little bit less. So I made my back squares I made them 8.25. Yes, I made them 8.25, and then I made my batting squares 7.25. And then I just took and if you see the back here, go lay down, Blue. If you see the back here, I just did the X that you do for rag quilts. You can do more on it if you want, but I don't do free motion on the regular sewing machine anymore, and that's the only way you could do this. So there it is. And then it's 6 rows by 10. It's pretty long. I don't know if I've got the right ratio of blocks, but I didn't want to make any more. Probably another long row would have made it make more sense, I guess, size-wise. But it's perfect for just laying over you long ways. Like I said, while you're sitting by the fire. Like anybody's sitting by the fire right now, but if you were sitting by a fire, this would be the blanket. It's the other side. And then I used 2 different prints for the back, because I was going to just use this one. It's kind of an oriental blue flower. I thought it looked jeansy, like jeans, like the color of jeans. And right towards the end of my cutting, I realized, hey, I'm not going to have enough of that. So I had to go get something else to put in between. And boy, that took a long time to decide on something. These 2 things have nothing in common other than they are shades of blue. This one has like almost a little teeny weeny bit of metallic, but it's kind of like a snow, I don't know what you'd call it, like a icy snow scene thing. So all I have to do is put it in the washer and dryer and get all those ragged edges fluffed out, and I've got myself a blanket. Yes, sirree, I made a quilt this weekend. Sort of, because I had 50 blocks done already. But that just goes to show how quickly you can make one of these rag quilts. You know, if you want to start out with something easy in your quilting journey, this would be easy. Easy. Okay, I'll probably show you that again on Friday. And let's see, what else did I want to chat with you about? Recent acquisitions? I guess I didn't really finish what I was talking about reflecting over the last year. I feel like I did do somewhat better with spending. This last couple months it's been a little excessive. I think I started out the year with good intentions and went for pretty good ways with not spending so much, but it's kind of went down the tubes here in the last little bit. So I'm thinking, January is always a no-buy month for me. January and July. For me, that means you don't buy anything new that you see, no matter how on sale it is, unless it's for something to finish up that you're currently working on. So if you need a package of batting to quilt a quilt, yes, go get it. If you need some yardage to put the borders on your quilt, yes, go get it. But don't just buy things because they're pretty and or they're on sale, or I don't have that gadget yet, I might need it, that sort of thing. Patterns too. Patterns are overrated. At $10 they were overrated, and at $12 they're definitely overrated. Do you know how many free patterns there are out on the internet? I'm going to say from fabric companies alone, you have access to thousands of great patterns for free. I'm not going to pay any money for patterns in 2025, I'll tell you that. Now, this is not my get ready for 2025 video. That's next Monday. But just to kind of give you a preview, that's how I feel about it. And number 2, I have to start learning EQ8, which is a pattern design software, starting January 1. So that's been a goal of mine all year, to start that on January 1. That's going to happen because I've paid for it and I need to use it, and I want to use it, and I want to give you free patterns. So yeah, that's going to happen for sure. But that's just like a little preview on next year's stuff. I've already got some sew-alongs in my mind to do, at least 2 that are scrap and or stash busting. Easy. You won't have to buy a pattern or a book. I probably will do another Jolly Bar sampler quilt because I just wasn't really satisfied with the one that we did. I don't feel like it turned out the way I wanted it to turn out. My quilt, for one, didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. Now, I've seen some of your all's quilts, and you all have seen them too, that have been very nice. I didn't like the way mine turned out at all. It was okay. It started good, but it kind of ended meh. So I want to give that another try, or some other book that we all have, or maybe just, I don't know. I need to get that down on paper so that I can talk to you about it next week. What's going to happen with that? Many of you bought the books for the first time, and it would be nice if we could use them at least another time or 2. And then there's a number 5. There's a volume 5 out on that, and I do have a reservation for that from Fat Quarter Shop. That means I've got a book reserved. I don't have reservations about getting the book. I have the book reserved. You pay like $1.50, and then they send it to you as soon as they get it, which evidently they don't have it yet. So there's that. But individual patterns, do we really need to buy $12 patterns? I don't think so. I think a lot of us, if we're really honest with ourselves, they just sit around here and we never look at them again. It's like something we saw it, we kind of liked it, or we liked it a lot, and then it went in the stack. We gotta stop doing that. That's nuts. That's just nuts. What else was I reflecting about this year? Well, I got my room all straightened out the way I like it. And I also got my long arm area all straightened out like I like it. That did result in a purchase of another table, and I think that's all I technically bought to get there to those places. You know, this room tidied up and organized, and then the long arm area tidied up and organized. I spent money for this table is what happened, which was a chunk, but I didn't go out and buy all new stuff for a room, which one could be tempted to do that. So yeah, no buy. I'm thinking maybe January, at least January, February, and March, or maybe I could do January and February, and then July and August, and then that wouldn't exclude me from the Black Friday sales later in the fall. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Please put your ideas or your thoughts in the comments, please. Another thing I need encouragement on, but you guys are great on giving encouragement. I really appreciate it. Recent acquisitions, let's just do it since I brought it over here. I have 3 1-yard cuts. This is One Canoe 2 Kindred. So if you like the way this looks, they have another one of these that has like a aqua background on the line, if you look up the line. But aren't these pretty and delicate, feminine? So there's a yellow, a peach, and a white. I like these. I went out and looked. You can find it on Etsy. I think there was a quilt store or two on Etsy that had it. You can still get fat quarter bundles and pre-cuts and some yardage. So this came from Sewell. It was probably some buyout that they did, and they wound up with some yardage from it. But these are so pretty, so I had to have them, didn't I? I just had to have them. I think they were discounted. They weren't, I don't know if they were de-stash price or if they were $10. I don't know. I just liked them, and I got it. And that was the same day that they had the embossed Minky. So this is a 2-yard cut of embossed Minky, which Minky is great, right? But this has, it already has a design in it. I don't know how this is going to quilt up. If the quilting will kind of make that embossing fade more into the background, or will they fight with each other? I'm worried about it. I want to use it. It'll be an experiment quilt if I use this, because I don't know how that's going to turn out. I like it though. I love this color. Kind of a sage green, I guess. I can't think if there's any. This is all I have laying here. So I think that might be all I got. I have some things coming though. I have 2 more orders from Sewell, and I have 1 from Quilt in a Day, and then my Sew Sampler box, as I already told you, is on its way. So, all right, let's do the art quilt of the week, and then I have a giveaway. So here is the art quilt of the week. This is a Nordic sampler, so it's a winter scene. It has a cabin, it has a mountain scene, it has a horse, it has 2, I don't know if those are, what kind of deer they are. They might be elk or something. I don't know what the Nordic area has as far as animals. There's a big mitten, and I don't know what some of these other things are on here. I'm not familiar with Nordic fare, whatever they have. This is 84 by 81. It says Janelle Weinberger of Partyville, Wisconsin. Now, not party like Party. Partyville, Wisconsin. It's party, Pardee. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that Wisconsin town correctly. The Wisconsinians can tell me if that's not right. Janelle thought this would be an easy project for the winter, but it wasn't. The designs were drawn on graph paper before being put into a spreadsheet for piecing. Entirely pieced with over 10,500 individual pieces, all 3/4 inch squares. Let's just let that sink in. Okay, it's 81 wide by 84 long. Y'all kind of know about what size that is, right? 10,500 3/4 inch pieces, squares, is what this is made from. It was designed and stitched in sections, making it difficult to sew the sections together. Shelley Zastro machine quilted the quilt and displayed at the Crazy Quilter Show in Mukwonago, Wisconsin. And juried into the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show in Madison, Wisconsin. So even the whites that you're looking at there are 3/4 inch squares. I know because I'm looking at the close-up down here, which you can't see, but just imagine all that white, as well as all the colors in it, are 3/4 inch squares. 81 inches by 84 inches. 10,500 pieces. She said it was difficult to sew the sections, but it would have been way more difficult to have sewn rows of 3/4 inch squares. That's crazy. That is just crazy. It has kind of a swirly snowflake quilting on it. I don't know if you can see that. There's like almost like a half paisley, and then there's a full-on star snowflake in there with it. But that should have won something just for the mere wonder of it all, the way it had to be put together. That's crazy. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that. The art quilt calendar. I have one for you. I have one to give away. I thought I ordered 2 and they came really quick. I ordered 2 thinking I had mine already. And I've looked everywhere. I can't find it. And now that everything's all neatened up in here, there's no way I'm overlooking it. So I've got one to give away. I was hoping to have 2 to give away. If I find the other one, if I'm thinking right that I had already ordered it, and it's here somewhere and it bounces up out of nowhere, I'll do another giveaway. So anybody who comments in the comment section today can be entered to win this quilt art engagement calendar for 2025 from American Quilters Society. If you want to buy your own, go to AmericanQuilter.com. You can find them there, and by becoming a member, you'll get a few bucks off of it. It's not expensive, though. I think it's $15. So with a membership, it's $12 or $13. I don't know. Unless you put in your comment that you don't want it or you already have it. If that's the case, then I'll pick another out of, and I'll show you me picking that. I might go ahead and do this. If I don't forget, I'll do this on Friday. And that way I'll have Saturday to get it in the mail, and you just might get it by the 1st of the year. Otherwise, it will be Monday I'll pick a winner. It'll go out Tuesday, and that's of next week, not this week. And you'll be about a week late on, but I don't think you'll mind because you'll have all the rest of the year to use this. So just like the art quilts that I've been showing you all year long, this is full of them as well. And the same thing for the back part. There's lots of little sections back there you can use to put notes and other information in about your projects and whatnot. So if you make a comment today, you're going to be entered into this. If you don't want it, then say that in your comment as well. USA only. Sorry, Canadians and other parts of the world. It's just too expensive, and I think you understand. Thank you for understanding. I would love to send everybody that wants one of these wherever they live, one of these. But I have one, and it's going to go to somebody in the US of A. Thank you. All right, let me see if there's anything else. I'm looking around. You know how I look around just to kind of see if anything comes to mind that I need to tell you about. Next week will be a very special quilt chat. We're going to get all up into 2025 and what's going to happen. Some of what's going to happen, because you know I like to change my mind. I like to change my mind. So I will be back Wednesday for a little short video on the long arm. Watch it. You might learn something even though you don't have a long arm or you don't plan to get a long arm. Watch it anyway. Watch it anyway. And then we'll be back on Friday for our finishes and see what's going on there. I wish you all a great week. Get in your sewing room. Some of you probably have full days off, and if you can afford the time to sew, then sew to your heart's content. I know that's what I'll be doing. All right, we will talk to you soon. Bye.